Railguns first teleporters, later the shock that destroyed the Council's glory. Best HFY Stories. The stars shone bright above the human fleet as it slowly moved through the cold emptiness of space. Ethan Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute Dawn, looking out at the black void. He felt both pride and worry. The human fleet was strong, but it was not ready for the full power of the Galactic Council. The Council had ruled space for centuries, their teleporters and energy weapons making them nearly untouchable. Humans, by comparison, had railguns and slow teleporters. Still, humanity had something else: determination. They would not bow, no matter how strong the Council seemed. Liam Brooks walked beside Ethan. The chief engineer had a calm face, but his eyes showed the same tension that Ethan felt. "Our railguns are ready," Liam said. "The Council may laugh, but those slugs will hit anything that comes close." Ethan nodded. "And our teleporters?" "They work," Liam replied, "but only in normal space lanes. High interference zones make them unreliable." The human fleet had come to the Council capital system on invitation. The Council wanted to see humanity, to assess whether humans could be trusted to hold advanced technology. In truth, humans were considered a minor species. The Council's leaders believed humans were primitive, slow, and foolish for still using railguns instead of relying on teleportation and energy weapons. On the communications console, Maya Collins tapped a message into the Council network. "The Council is ready for our arrival," she said. Her voice carried both respect and a hint of nervousness. Hannah Price, the diplomat, stood near Ethan. She had practiced her speech many times. "Remember, we must remain calm. The Council enjoys showing their power." "We must not provoke them, at least not yet," Ethan sighed. "We will not surrender our pride for politeness." The fleet entered orbit of the capital world. It was enormous, a spinning city that stretched across 100 kilometers. Ships of every shape and color hovered around it, some bright with energy, others silent and dark. The Council's welcome fleet appeared, teleporting into position in precise formations. Each ship gleamed with shields and weapons that humans had only seen in simulations. When they spoke, their voices carried arrogance. "Humans," said the Council commander, a tall male with silvered hair, "we see that you still use old weapons. Railguns, primitive. Why do you cling to such tools when teleportation is the future?" Hannah Price stepped forward. "Our choice is simple," she said. "Railguns never fail, they need no perfect calculations. In combat, reliability can be more valuable than elegance." The Council laughed. It was a cold, sharp sound that filled the chamber. "You misunderstand," the commander said. "Your weapons are toys. You will obey our rules or you will be destroyed." Ethan remained silent, but his hand rested lightly on the edge of the command console. Daniel Hayes, the tactical officer, noticed. "We are ready for any attack," he said quietly to Ethan. The Council announced a security inspection of a human colony on the edge of human space. The humans understood immediately. It was not an inspection. It was intimidation. They wanted to humiliate humans, to show them that their railguns meant nothing. Ethan gathered his senior officers. "We will defend the colony," he said. "We cannot retreat. The Council believes we are weak. We will show them the opposite." The human fleet moved out of orbit. Their engines burned bright, slow but steady. The Council ships teleported above the colony world, appearing suddenly in the sky. The Council commander's voice came through the comm. "Prepare to submit, humans. We do not tolerate defiance." Ethan's voice was calm but firm. "We will not surrender our homes or our people." The first clash happened almost immediately. A Council cruiser teleported behind a human patrol ship and fired a beam weapon. The patrol ship exploded in bright fire, sending pieces of metal spinning into space. The Council laughed. "See how powerless you are." But then something strange happened. The destroyed human ship fired one last shot from its railgun. The solid metal slug shot across space silently and struck the Council cruiser's shield. It did not break the shield, but it flickered and weakened unexpectedly. Council officers were surprised. Their shields were designed for energy attacks, not heavy kinetic slugs. Liam Brooks studied the readings. "This is just the start," he said. "Our railguns may not be flashy, but they hit hard. We have a chance." Ethan nodded. "We will make them respect us. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually." The humans reached the colony. Its cities were bright and sprawling. The Council warships hovered above, scanning for weapons and hiding places. Humans evacuated civilians and prepared defenses. Railgun emplacements were placed on high ground. Missile batteries were ready. Small corvettes patrolled the skies. The Council demanded access to the colony's military facilities. Ethan refused. He sent a formal message. "This is sovereign space. You will not enter without permission." The Council commander's voice grew sharp. "Defiance will be punished." Ethan turned to his officers. "Prepare for battle. This is not just defense. This is a statement. If we survive, the galaxy will see that humans do not kneel." Daniel Hayes plotted the Council fleet's likely paths. "They will try to teleport around our defenses," he said. "We can't chase them, but we can predict their jumps." Olivia Grant, the science officer, worked quickly with sensors. She mapped interference zones where Council teleporters would struggle. "We can use this to our advantage," she said. The Council initiated their first attack. Teleporting vessels appeared in orbit, striking at random locations. Energy beams cut through the atmosphere, burning cities and forests. Human railguns fired from the surface. The first volley missed, but the second struck a Council destroyer. The solid slugs tore through shields that were not designed for kinetic impact. Sparks of blue energy flared across its hull. Council ships paused. They had underestimated humans. Ethan gave the next order. "Focus on their lead cruiser. Concentrate all fire." The fleet fired again, coordinated with incredible timing. Each railgun volley hit predicted positions. Even Council teleporters could not avoid them all. One Council ship attempted a teleport to escape the oncoming slugs. It reappeared inside a cloud of debris from a destroyed ship. The hull cracked, and alarms blared. Maya Collins monitored comms. "The Council is confused," she said. "They expected an easy victory. They did not predict mass kinetic strikes." The battle continued for hours. Human railguns were slow to reload, but each shot counted. The Council fleet, reliant on teleportation, struggled in the dense debris field. Every jump weakened their shields temporarily. Hannah Price sent diplomatic messages urging calm. "We do not seek war. We only defend ourselves." The Council commander ignored her. "Strike them down. Show no mercy." Ethan observed the battlefield. He knew that humans could not rely on luck alone. Each strike had to be precise. Each move had to anticipate Council tactics. Daniel Hayes shouted from the tactical console. "Lead cruiser taking damage." Shields down 50%. The human fleet pressed forward. Railguns fired in synchronized volleys. One by one, Council ships began to falter under the unexpected kinetic assault. The first real victory came when a human cruiser hit a Council destroyer with 3 consecutive slugs. Its shield collapsed completely. The crew scrambled, but it was too late. The ship exploded in silent fury. Council officers were shocked. They had never faced a species capable of such precise fire without teleportation advantages. Ethan knew this was just the beginning. "Prepare for the next wave," he said. "We cannot stop now." The human fleet formed a defensive circle around the colony. Every ship, every railgun, every soldier worked as one. The Council would learn painfully that humans were not weak. The first battle had begun. The Council thought it would be easy. They thought humans were primitive. But as the day ended, humans held the field. One small victory, but a significant one. Ethan Cole stood at the bridge, looking at the stars. The humans were battered but unbroken. Somewhere in the Council's pride, a crack had begun. And humanity would strike at that crack. The Council had retreated, but their pride was wounded. Across the stars, their leaders gathered in secret chambers, speaking in low, sharp voices. They could not understand how a small species like humans had defeated even a portion of their fleet. They had teleportation, energy weapons, and centuries of strategy. Yet humans had held the field with nothing but railguns and determination. In one chamber, a council elder slammed a fist on the table. "We must destroy them completely. They are dangerous. If one fleet falls, others will follow their example." Another counselor shook her head. "Patience. Let us observe. Their industry, their technology, their choices. We cannot underestimate them. They are unlike any species we have known." Meanwhile, humanity did not rest. On Earth and its colonies, ships were repaired, weapons were rebuilt, and scientists worked without pause. Ethan Cole oversaw operations from the resolute dawn, moving between shipyards and command centers. He was calm, but his mind never rested. Liam Brooks had spent sleepless nights designing new railgun systems, improving projectile speed and range. He knew that the Council would return in force. Humanity's teleporters were slow and unstable in combat, but railguns never failed. Each slug, each volley could strike with deadly precision if guided carefully. Olivia Grant worked on analyzing the Council's energy patterns. She discovered that after each teleportation jump, the Council ships' shields were weak for a short time. It was subtle, but in a large fleet it could be exploited. Hannah Price traveled to nearby neutral worlds, sending messages of caution and alliance. "Humanity does not seek conquest," she said. "We only wish to survive. We will defend ourselves, but we will not enslave others. Stand with us, or watch as the Council tries to crush us." Neutral species listened, and quietly some began preparing their own defenses. The human example had shaken confidence. No longer was the Council seen as untouchable. The Council did not wait long. Within months, they gathered the Grand Armada, hundreds of ships from multiple species, all carrying the latest teleportation arrays and energy weapons. They declared a single goal: crush humanity and restore their reputation. Ethan called his officers together. "The Council thinks fear will work," he said. "They believe in their own glory. They will come with everything. We will be ready." Daniel Hayes examined the star maps. "They will enter through 3 main corridors. They will try to teleport directly into our strongest points." Liam Brooks spoke. "Our railguns are enough to make a difference, but we need more. We need mass driver platforms, orbiting cannons capable of firing at near-light speed. If the Council jumps into them, they will lose ships before they even see us." Ethan nodded. "Begin construction immediately. Hide the platforms among asteroids. Let them think we are weak." Maya Collins intercepted Council communications. "They are confident," she said. "They believe the humans are frightened. They laugh at our railguns. They do not expect mass kinetic strikes." Ethan smiled faintly. "Then they will be surprised." The first ships of the Grand Armada entered human space. Teleportation flares lit the void like sudden lightning. Ships appeared in patterns meant to confuse and intimidate. Their energy weapons glowed bright, aiming to destroy any defense before it could fire. Humans did not panic. Railguns and mass drivers waited silently in hidden positions, orbiting planets, moons, and asteroids. When the first Council ship teleported into range, a volley of solid metal slugs hit. The ship's shields flickered and then cracked. It exploded before it could fire. Council commanders were stunned. Teleportation, their greatest advantage, now carried risk. Every jump had a chance of meeting unexpected resistance. Debris from destroyed ships made the next jump even more dangerous. Ethan directed his fleet with precision. "Focus on the lead ships. Disrupt formation. Force them to jump repeatedly." Daniel Hayes calculated likely exit points for teleporting ships. Human ships fired in waves, synchronized with the predicted positions. Each council ship had to jump multiple times, weakening shields and throwing crews into panic. One council cruiser tried a direct teleport into the heart of human defenses. It appeared inside a cloud of asteroids where humans had hidden mass driver platforms. Metal slugs struck from all sides. The ship's hull cracked, systems failed, and it disintegrated. Olivia Grant observed from the bridge. Their teleportation patterns are predictable. We can use this. Every jump they make weakens them more. Their pride blinds them. Hannah Price sent another message to the council. You may have power, but we have will. You can destroy ships, but you cannot destroy a people who refuse to kneel. The council ignored the message and continued their assault. Their fleets moved as one massive formation, teleporting deep into human territory. Energy beams cut through space, firing at orbital defenses and planetary installations. Ethan waited. Railguns and mass drivers had been prepared for this moment. When the council fleet reached the asteroid field, volleys rained down. Hundreds of projectiles struck ships simultaneously. Some shields held for a few seconds, others failed immediately. Explosions lit the darkness like sudden stars. Council ships attempted emergency teleportation, but Olivia had predicted the likely coordinates. Slugs struck the moment ships reappeared, sometimes slicing through shields before they could react. The field became chaotic. Teleportation, once a source of supremacy, now became a hazard. The Armada's command ship moved forward, hoping to rally remaining vessels. Ethan gave the order. Every heavy railgun fired at the command ship. For a long moment, shields held, glowing bright against the storm of kinetic energy. Then they collapsed. The hull cracked. Systems failed. The command ship disintegrated in a silent, deadly explosion. Council officers were horrified. They had never lost a command ship so suddenly. Ships without coordination began to retreat. Teleportation lanes filled with debris, preventing jumps and leaving many ships stranded in open space. Hannah Price watched the communications channels. They are retreating, she said. They underestimated us. They thought fear alone would work. Now they know we will fight. Ethan did not celebrate. He knew the council still had power and resources. They could return with more fleets, but the point was clear. Humanity had proven that determination, strategy, and adaptability could overcome even the most advanced technology. Mass driver platforms continued to fire at retreating council ships. Explosions tore across the void, leaving fragments drifting silently. The Armada had lost nearly half its ships. Some ships teleported away, battered and demoralized. Daniel Hayes looked at the data. This is more than a battle. This is a turning point. The Council's greatest strength is now their weakness. They cannot teleport without risk. Liam Brooks nodded. And our railguns, simple, reliable, and deadly, they never fail. We have used them wisely. Ethan stood on the bridge, staring at the remains of the Council fleet. This is only the beginning, he said. They will return, but now they know humans cannot be controlled. They will respect us, and if they do not, we are ready. The fleet returned to orbit of the home colonies. Humanity had survived the greatest test yet. Ships were damaged and lives had been lost, but the spirit of humanity remained unbroken. Across colonies, people celebrated quietly, understanding that their survival was due to courage, planning, and technology shaped by their own hands. Hannah Price sent messages to neutral worlds. See what humans can do, she wrote. See what determination and will can achieve. We seek peace, but we will not bow. Join us or watch history unfold. In the council chambers, leaders were divided. Some called for immediate retaliation, gathering more fleets and weapons. Others argued for caution, realizing that humans were unlike any species they had encountered. Pride had led them to underestimate a small, determined people. Back on the Resolute Dawn, Ethan Cole convened his officers. We have won a battle, he said, but the war is not over. We will continue to improve, to adapt. Railguns first, teleporters later. That is the way we fight and the way we survive." Liam Brooks smiled faintly. "And when the council comes again, they will learn another lesson. Humans do not surrender easily. We strike where they least expect." Olivia Grant added, "And we study, adapt, and predict. Their teleportation is dangerous when misused. We will use their pride against them." The stars stretched endlessly around them, silent witnesses to the first true test of human resolve in the galaxy. The Council's shock and retreat had been felt across systems. Humanity had proven that even a species considered weak could hold its ground, and even defeat those who thought themselves invincible. Ethan knew the coming years would test them further. The Council would return with more fleets, more ships, and more weapons. But humanity had learned a truth that no council could take away. Courage, determination, and clever use of technology could overcome even overwhelming power. And so, the humans prepared. Railguns were loaded, mass drivers were hidden among asteroids, and minds worked tirelessly to predict the next council move. The galaxy would soon learn that humans would never kneel, and that pride and strength could exist in simple, reliable tools. The shock of the council's retreat echoed across the void. For the first time, their glory had been challenged, and it was only the beginning. Humanity would fight, adapt, and survive. The future belonged to those who dared to strike first, strike true, and never give up. The galaxy was quiet, but the calm was only temporary. Humanity had survived the Council's great armada, but they knew it would return. Ethan Cole stood on the bridge of the Resolute Dawn, looking out at the stars. Each point of light represented a system, a world that might be threatened. Each ship in the fleet represented hope and determination. Humanity had proven its strength, but the fight was not over. Liam Brooks continued his work tirelessly. He walked between shipyards, checking construction and upgrades. Mass driver platforms orbited planets and asteroids, hidden from view, ready to strike. Railguns were refined and tested again and again. Every projectile, every system, had to be perfect. There was no room for error. Olivia Grant studied the Council's communication patterns and battle data. She discovered that the Council was rebuilding its fleet in secret, gathering smaller species and forming new teleportation arrays. Their arrogance remained, but humans had learned to exploit it. Every jump the Council ships made weakened them slightly. Every assumption of superiority became a trap. Hannah Price traveled to neutral worlds again. She did not speak of conquest or revenge. Instead, she spoke of freedom, defense, and cooperation. "Humans fight for themselves," she said. "They will defend their homes, but they will not destroy others for power. Stand with us and you may survive what comes next." Some species listened. Some did not. But the message spread, and quietly, alliances began to form. The Council's reputation had been shaken. Their so-called invincible fleets had been stopped by simple metal slugs and determination. The humans prepared for the next great confrontation. Ethan convened his officers. "The Council will return," he said. "We do not know when, but we know how. They will teleport into our space, relying on speed and arrogance. We will be ready. Railguns first, teleporters later. Remember that. Our strength is in our discipline and our willingness to endure." Daniel Hayes studied star charts. "We have mapped the likely corridors of attack. We can anticipate their jumps. We can use the asteroid fields, the planets, even the debris from their own destroyed ships to create hazards. Every advantage counts." The first warning came quietly. Scouts reported Council ships appearing at the edge of human territory. They were smaller than the last armada but faster and more coordinated. Teleportation flares lit the void, appearing in rapid succession. Humans held their ground. When the Council ships jumped into the first asteroid field, mass drivers fired silently. Tungsten projectiles, dense and fast, struck ships as soon as they appeared. Shields flared, systems failed, and several ships disintegrated before they could react. The Council tried again, attempting to bypass defenses with rapid teleportation. Olivia's calculations had predicted the most likely points. Railguns and mass drivers struck immediately. One cruiser reappeared partially inside a destroyed ship, ripping open its hull. Panic spread through their crews. Teleportation, once a tool of certainty, was now dangerous. Ethan coordinated the human fleet with precision. Every move was calculated, every volley timed perfectly. The humans did not have flashy technology like the Council, but they had something better: strategy, coordination, and experience learned from their first encounters. Hannah Price sent messages across the battlefield to the Council. "You cannot win by fear alone," she said. "You thought your power would intimidate us. You thought your teleporters made you untouchable. You were wrong." Council leaders realized something terrifying. Their arrogance had become a weakness. Their fleets, built to strike quickly and vanish, now risked destruction every time they jumped. Their pride forced them forward, even as loss mounted. The humans pressed their advantage. Railguns fired in waves, targeting shields weakened by repeated teleportation. Mass drivers struck from hidden positions, hitting ships before they could react. Explosions tore through the Council formation. Coordination collapsed. Teleportation became chaotic and mistakes multiplied. One Council flagship tried a desperate maneuver, teleporting deep into the heart of the human defensive line. It appeared surrounded by asteroids and debris from previous battles. Slugs struck from all angles. The ship shuddered, shields failed, and it was torn apart. Ethan watched silently. He did not celebrate. He knew the Council could still rebuild. But humanity had achieved something extraordinary. They had turned the Council's greatest strength into a vulnerability. Daniel Hayes monitored the tactical screens. "Their command is broken," he said. "Without the flagship, the fleet is disorganized. Ships are retreating or being destroyed." Liam Brooks checked the mass driver outputs. Every calculation worked. "Our weapons strike where they must, not where they want." The Council tried one final jump, a massive combined strike aimed at Earth itself. Teleportation flares lit the void like sudden suns, but humans had prepared for this. Orbital railguns and mass drivers targeted every likely arrival point. Volleys of metal struck the ships as they appeared. Shields collapsed. Systems failed. The Council fleet fragmented, some ships escaping, most destroyed. Hannah Price broadcast a final message to the galaxy. "The Council is no longer invincible. Humanity fights for its freedom, and we do not surrender. Let this be a lesson to all. Strength comes from will, from strategy, from refusing to bow to fear." On Earth, people watched the events unfold through transmissions. Cities celebrated quietly. Soldiers repaired ships. Scientists rebuilt railguns. Humanity had survived the ultimate test. They had proven that courage, determination, and simple, reliable tools could overcome even the most advanced technology. The Council was shattered. Their once mighty fleets were broken. Some leaders resigned. Others argued over blame. Many species began to question their loyalty to the Council. The image of invincibility had been destroyed. Ethan Cole convened his officers. "We have won a great victory," he said, "but we must remain vigilant. The galaxy is vast. Others will test us. We will continue to improve, to adapt, to be ready. Railguns first, teleporters later. That is how we survive." Liam Brooks smiled faintly. "And every ship we build now is stronger, faster, smarter. We have learned from the Council, but in our own way. They relied on arrogance. We rely on preparation." Olivia Grant added, "We study, we adapt, we predict. Their teleporters are powerful but not perfect. Every tool has its weakness, and we will find it." Hannah Price traveled to neutral systems again, offering alliances, trade, and defense. Many species agreed, inspired by humanity's resolve. Others watched, waiting, learning from the humans who had faced the mighty Council and survived. Across human space, shipyards were busy. Railguns were loaded, mass drivers hidden, new ships tested. The fleet grew stronger, more capable, prepared for any challenge. Humanity did not seek war, but they were ready for it. The stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to humanity's rise. The Council's pride had been shattered. Their fleets had been destroyed not by energy weapons or teleportation, but by determination, strategy, and reliable technology used wisely. Ethan Cole stood on the bridge, looking out at the galaxy. He knew there would be more battles in the future. The Council would not forget this defeat, but humanity had shown something that no fleet, no weapon, no arrogance could erase. Humans would never bow. Railguns first, teleporters later. The shock that destroyed the Council's glory had been more than metal hitting shields. It had been courage, intelligence, and the unyielding will of a species that refused to surrender. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Power alone does not win wars. Pride can be a weakness. And determination, when combined with clever use of technology, can overcome even the greatest empires. Ethan turned to his officers. "We have made our mark. We will continue to grow. One day the Council will not only remember this day, they will respect it. And the galaxy will know that humans are not to be underestimated." And so, humanity looked to the stars. The fleet shone like silver lines against the black, ready, vigilant, unbroken. Railguns waited in silence, masked drivers hidden among the rocks, and minds worked tirelessly. The Council's era of unquestioned glory was over. The future belonged to those who refused to kneel. The galaxy was vast, but humans were ready. Every world they touched, every star system they defended would remember this day. Not because they had the most advanced teleporters or energy weapons, but because they had the strength to endure, the courage to fight, and the wisdom to strike when the time was right. And humanity would endure. No council, no empire, no power could stop them. Railguns first, teleporters later, and the will to survive above all. The shock that destroyed the Council's glory had begun a new age in the galaxy. One where humans would never surrender, and where their courage would inspire generations to come.